Today we'll see in our Python training that is the basic syntax, and then we'll also see about how we can use the operators and the variables and data types. Right. Let me go one by one so that you guys will understand right from basics how to start writing the programs. First of all, the syntax is very important. Syntax in the sense it is something like a grammar. So why we should understand syntax? So syntax, if you understand, it will be easy for me to write any programs. It can be a simple or it can be complex programs. So when I'm writing the program, so first I have to choose which ideally I'm actually writing. So here we have this interactive mode from Python, or I can also use this Jupyter, which we have downloaded and installed. That is from Anaconda. I just opened this. I'll go here, I'll say Python 3, and I'll get this window where I can write the program. So we discussed this in the previous session as well. Now when I want to write a program here, say I'll go here, say print welcome to Python session. Say enter, I'll get the result. Same thing, I'll just copy this. Let's go to this Jupyter, and here I have this cell. I'll paste the same thing. Instead of typing it again, I'll say run. I'll get the result here. So this is how we'll start writing the program. Fine. We saw this interactive mode where I'll be writing the program, and also we saw this scripting mode, that is I'll go to this file, say new file, and here I can write a lot of codes here, and then I can start running the program. Let me just save this, say save as, and then I'll just save it in H drive where we have our folder, that is Python. Or I'll go to this, have a folder for Python, so I'll save it here only, this Python folder. Say first class, and I'll save. Let me just run the same code from this scripting mode, say run. I'll say F5, or I can click on this. I'll get the result here. So we understood how to write the program in interactive mode, scripting mode, or in the Jupyter window. Fine. Let's scroll down. So here there are so many options. If you want, you can just check this. Now we'll discuss about some concepts what we have in Python, so that it will be easy for me to declare, or say, you can say declare your variables, or say you can use your variables or something like that. First thing, keep in mind, Python is case sensitive. It's very important. First thing you should remember is Python is case sensitive. You can say this, it says ITAS, which is in small letters, and ITAS in capital letters, both are different. Let me show you. You go here, let's say I'll type it here only. I'll say A equals 100, and then I'll say capital A equals 100, or we'll say 500. Now if I say print, and if I say print A, it will give me 100. Now if I say print, and if I type capital A and say enter, it will print the 500 because it is caps. And you can say this, I'll go here, I'll say print, and I'll say A. See now what will happen. See, it says print. Print is not defined. That means it is case sensitive. The functions or whatever is there, that has to be like this only, in small letters. If I type like this, say print A, this also will not work. So you should always keep in mind that Python is case sensitive. Whatever variable you're using here, you should be very careful, and you should use the same thing. So that is first thing you should have. Next thing is, we have something called as identifiers. So what are these identifiers? See, I'll tell you. Identifiers are nothing but it is a name. It is a name of a variable, or it can be a function, it can be class, or it can be a module, or any other objects what you're writing the program, what will be using the name of that particular objects. And there are some principles what you should follow while you're using this identifiers. What are those? Say the identifier will start with A to Z, so you can use these characters or small letters. You can either use capital letters or small letters. Like what I used here, I used small letter or capital letter. There is nothing wrong in that. But whatever character I'm using, if it is small letter or capital letter, same thing I have to use. And I can also start my identifiers by using this underscore. So what will happen if when I use underscore? So there are a few things what we'll be learning in the next coming sessions. That is, it can be as a private or it will be a strong private when I use this underscore. So depending on the underscore what I'm giving, so I can classify the functions into private or say public or something. This we'll discuss in our next session that when we come to this functions. I can also use this numbers, but you cannot use special characters like this because they're actually used for different things. And again, I told you it should be case sensitive. So this identifiers you should actually be aware. So in a very simple thing, make sure that you'll use a proper case sensitive, and then you'll use a proper naming convention. That is, you can use either A to Z, that is characters, or you can use underscores, or you can use numbers, but don't use special characters. That's it. Right. Next is reserve words. Do not use reserve words when you're naming a variable or for any other function names or any class names or any other object names. Why? Because when I'm using this reserve words, the interpreter will get confused whether it's a keyword or it's a variable or any other names. So if you see here, I have noted down a list of say reserve words or say keywords which should not be used. So as and when you start writing the programs, it will become you will become aware of it, that which one to use, which one not to use. So here DEF, this is for defining a function. So if I use this name itself somewhere here, say in this, let me just clear this. If I go here and if I use this DEF, see, this will become like a function, means defining a function. If I go here and say 100, see, the same thing. If I go here, say A equals 100, you can see this is a variable and this is a keyword. You can see the color here. So never use like this. So when I say a keyword, print is a keyword. When I say print, see the color change, because these are all inbuilt options which we should not use. So you have to know the reserve words or keywords, anything you can call, so that you will not be using any of these inbuilt keywords. So you'll be asking, so how will I actually remember this? So don't worry. So as and when you start writing the programs, or as and when you start learning the functions, it'll easily come to your mind that okay, this I should not use. But I've made a list of it. You can go through this list. So I don't want to go through everything here. You can just go through this list. You'll be aware of it. Right. Next, lines and indentation. Why I'm actually stressing on this lines and indentation is, in Python, indentation is very, very important. It's very important. Why? Because when I'm having a block, or we call it a suit, it should be indented properly, otherwise it will not come under each block, especially when I'm using this loops and conditional statements. Let me go and show you an example. I also have given one example here. Let me just show you one example here. Let me delete this. I'll go to that shell and I'll show you. Okay, do it here. I'll say A equals 100. Don't worry about the program, just know the things now. I'll say a equals 100. Now I'll try to check the condition. Say if a is greater than 100. Now when I say enter, see, this will become like indent. You can see that. I will mention here print a is greater value. A simple program will write. Now I'll say enter, and I can go back by pressing backspace. I'll say else. Say print a is lesser value. Right. I've written one simple program. Just learn about the indentation. Don't worry about this program. I'll teach you how to write this program. But this indentation is important. I'll show you. Now let me run this. I'll get the result here saying a is lesser value. Let's go and check this. Make it say 500. And here let me make it 600. And I'll run this program. Now I should say a is greater. Fine. What if I have not given the indentation? Let's say I'll remove this indentation in VBA, okay, in macro, so I don't have to bother people. I'll be keep telling that give indentation in macros, so some people will not give indentation at all. They'll straight away write the program here, no indentation, but still it will work. But in Python it's not like that. Let me run this program. See, expected an indented block. That means it will not allow me to run the program. So you should indent. Let me just indent this. Give a tab. It will get indented. Now whatever comes under this block, say I'll go here, or suit, whatever you want to call, print, say this is true statement. I'm just giving one more statement here. Let me copy this and I'll put it here. I'll say this is false statement. Now let me run this. Whatever comes under true statement, that will get executed here. Fine. Now if you think that, okay, let me just put this something like this, that is not giving indentation, run this again, I'll get the error. So this again has to be indented here. Right, let's go back. Now after this block, then what I can do, I can go back like this. That means this block is finished. Now I can go here and say print. Print, this is the end of the program. Now when I run this program, see, I'll run this. Let me just see, a is greater value, this is true statement, and here it is saying this is the end of the program. So this will get executed at any cost. If I go here, this will get executed because this is out of the block. So indentation, as I told you, is very important in Python programming. The lines, so whatever you see, this one by one line, so you can put a blank here. That is not a problem. Even if blank is not there, blank line is not there also, it's fine. So the program will run. But indentation is compulsory when you're using this if statement or when you're using this loops. So we'll go in depth of this when you come to this chapter itself. Fine. Let's go to next topic. Multiple lines. So if you want, you can execute this, and I'll show you in Jupyter also. Let me just copy this. So I'll put it here. See, if I run this, it will give me the result exactly like whatever we have. I'm just copying and pasting, so I don't want to waste time in just typing all these things. Here also, I'll just try to give something like this without indentation and then run and see. See, expected and indented block. Here also, you have to give indentation. Okay, fine. Let's go back. Here, multi-line statements. When I'm assigning a value to a variable, it should be in one line. Let's say I'll go here. We'll take this some statement. keep this code so that I can send it to you. So all the comments, whatever is there, I'll just send it to you. Now, here we'll say company equals iTech Analytic Solutions. This is one way of assigning a value here for this variable. Now when I say print, say, so again you should be very careful. See here, I mean C as caps, here also it should be caps. The better or the best practice is just copy this variable and paste it, that's it, so that you'll not miss anything. If I run this, I'll get the result. Let me close this and run it again. See, I'll get the result here like this. Let me go back. I can split this actually. Means if at all I think that there is a very big statement and it is going beyond this window, like somewhere here, I can have to bring it down. Then I can use plus and slash like this to have multi lines. Let's go back. I'll use the same thing. I'll say use company equals, I'll say iTech. Now I'll say plus and give a slash like this. Then I'll go here, say enter, again plus slash, then solutions. And you should not give. This indicates that yes, the line is still continuing, the text is still continuing. Let me copy this print. Now I'll say company. Let's run this. See, both are same. But why do we use this multi-line? So whenever you feel that the text is getting more, okay, in that case you can just break it into different lines. How to get this into different line, that I'll tell you. We have something called as /n, which I'll tell you how to implement that in the coming sessions. Now let's copy this and quickly run this in my Jupyter. See, this way also I can use it. Say, run this, I'll get the result. This is for multi lines. That means multiple lines also I can use it, but make sure that you'll have this plus and slash. Okay. Next, sometimes we have a data type called as list or tuples or something like this. Whenever I'm using this square brackets or say flower brackets or the normal brackets, I don't have to give this plus and slash. This we call it as list. When I'm creating something like this, here I can directly use without using this plus and slash. Let's see that. Just comment this. So I'm commenting all this so that I can give all the codes to you guys. This is for another variable where I'm using this list. Let's say list1 equals, I'll put a square bracket, say Monday, comma, then let's say Tuesday. Now I'll say enter. I don't have to give your plus and slash. Now I'll say Wednesday and Thursday. Let's close the bracket. Let me save this and run this. Oops, I have to print it. Sorry, list1. So whatever is there, this is assigning. Then I have to print it. Let's run this. See, I'll get this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now, if you want to have one more line here, I can go into this. Friday and Saturday. Let me run this, save this. See, I'll get the list like this. So if you have a normal bracket, then also this will work like this. I'll make it as list 2. Let me run this. See, I'll get both the list. One with square bracket, other one is the normal brackets. Let me copy this quickly. We'll do this in this Jupyter as well. Run. See, I'm getting the result. This is for multi-lines. So this will be used when you start working on the list, or we have something called as tuples and so many things that I'll discuss in the next session. Then you'll understand where this can be used. Fine. Quotation. This is again a very important thing. Quotation means whenever I'm having a text, in Excel or say in macros or in any other thing, we'll put double quotes. But in Python, it's not like that. We can use single quote, we can use double quote, and I can use 3 double quotes. So why actually we have these kind of things? Say, suppose if I'm assigning one variable with some text. Let's go here. Say quote. Quotation. Okay. Now if I go here, I'll take one text, say I'll use a single quote and I'll say this is valid. Let's go here. I'll say analytics, put double quotes. This is also valid. Next, 3 equals, say 3 double quotes. This is also valid. Let's print this. Print, copy this, paste it, 2 and 3. Let me run this. See, I'm getting the result. Let's go and understand some more things here. When I have this, say we saw this multi-line here, I put double quotes and plus slash or something. Let me go here. Here, whenever I think that I want to break this line, then I can use this double quotes, 3 double quotes. Say, let me just go here. I'll say enter. Okay. See, if you go here, you want, you can just use this itself. This is something big text here, like this. See, the text is very big, so I just copied and pasted here. Now, if I run this, see, it's going in next line like this. The quotations are very important. As I told you, we can take this single, double quotes, or 3 double quotes. But these 3 double quotes can be used with multi-lines like this, but not with these 2 options. That is single quote or double quotes. And again, let me copy this and paste it here. This is invalid. This is not valid. So whatever quotes you are giving, so if I'm giving the single quote, it should end with single quote only. If I'm starting with double quotes, let it end with double quotes only. So whatever you're starting, ending also should be similar quotations. Let me run this and see what will happen. See, it is not proper assignment for this variable. That means I have to give either single quote here, or you have to change the double quote, say this is valid. So you should be aware of these things as well. So though it looks very basic or say simple, you please understand all these simple things so that next when you're writing the program, you will not miss out anything in these kind of things, and you will not panic or say get afraid saying that I've done some mistake, right? Okay, so let me quickly copy this and I'll show this in Jupyter as well. Just paste it here and then say run. See, here also I'll get similar kind of results. Fine. Just comment. This is for quotations. Comments. This is again a very important thing. What is a comment? First we'll understand this. Comments are nothing but it's a kind of say text or say statement which are not executed. So if you see here, these are all commands or say the codes. When I say comment, this is comment. See, I just commented it, become green color here. This I cannot execute. So if you see this, all are actually commented. Now if I go here and say run, see, nothing is there here. Let me close this and again I'll show you. See, nothing is come. The reason is I've made all these as comments. They're non-executable codes or say statements. Why do we use these comments? Comments are actually used. Sometimes I've written some program. I want some explanation, or I want a variable I've declared. I want to know what that variable actually is. So for that I'll be using this comments. There are two ways I can give comments. One is for single line or multi lines. So first we'll see how we can give comments for single line, and then we'll see how we can give for multi lines. Let me go here. I'll just copy this code and I'll put it here in the script mode. Okay. Now I want some explanation of this. So for this, what I'll do, I'll put hash. When I put this hash, that means it is a single line comment. Say this program will display a statement. See, this is non-executable statement. If I run this, only this print, whatever is there, only that will be executed. Right. The comment can be given anywhere, something like this. I can also give here, see, this is an executable statement. Comments can be given after this code as well, like this. But never give comments in the beginning only. Say, I have one statement here, never give like this. See, this also will become comment. See, whatever you try, this will be a comment, because in the beginning only I made it as comment. So make sure that when you are using this comment, so use this hash and then comment it and see where you want to use this. Say suppose if you want one more comment, I'll go here. See, I can have any number of comments like this. This is single line. That is say line by line I can give the comments. But what if I want to comment multiple lines? There are so many codes, or say so many lines have to comment immediately. If you go here, see, I did comment for all this immediately. Let's take this program itself and I'll paste it here. So this is an executable statement. Now I feel that, okay, let me just block this for some time so that it should not be executed. Then what I'll do is I have this 3 single quote. in the beginning and 3 single quote in the end. This will become comment. So if you want to comment, say, a list of the multiple lines, then I can give here 3 single quote in the beginning, 3 single quote in the end. Same thing applies here as well. Let me just copy this and I'll put it here. Now if you want to comment, I'll go here. I'll say hash. Let me copy this code. I'm not typing here. See, this become like an italic. Now I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. See, comes something like this. Let me run this. But here, let's go. I'll copy this code and I'll paste it here. I want to make this entire thing as comment. So what I'll do, I have a shortcut key, that is control and slash. It will comment like this. Select it and comment. Say select control slash. See, this can be done for single line as well. Say for example, I'll just remove this. Say control slash. This will become a comment like this. Right. So we understood about the comments. Blank lines. Blank lines are actually given. Say for example, I feel that I want to have some space here so that it is very neatly readable. Let's give one space like this. So you don't have to bother. You can just give the blank lines like this as well. See, like this. So this blank lines, anyways, they are not executable statement. It's just a blank lines what it is there. This is just like a separators what you can use. So this is something like a good practice when you are writing a program. So what will happen as when you start writing the program, there will be multiple, say 10 line code, 20 line code, it will be 100 line code. So it will become difficult for me to go and keep checking this. Say if it is like one next to next like a paragraph, it will become difficult. So I can give one blank line so that it will be easy for me to understand. Right. Next one is about the input statement. So anyway, this itself is a separate chapter, but I'll just quickly explain you what is this input statement. Like what I have this print statement here. We have this input statement. Input statement will ask values from the user. So like this, I'll go here. Let me comment this. We'll give, say, single line comment. I'm just putting all this so that it will be easy for you to understand. Say multiple line comment. Okay. Here we'll say input command. So what this input command will do is it will take a value, put it into a variable, and that variable I can use for any calculations or say displaying. Let's say num1 equals input, enter a value, close bracket. So here this num1 will have the value whatever the user enters. Now we'll say print num1. So it will take one input value and then it will display that value which you have given. So in this case it will come error because it should be like this. See, should be exactly like this. Right, let me run this. See, it is asking for a value, enter a value. I'll just enter 100. Now if I say enter, see, I'll get this 100. That means this input is like it asks for the user what value you are trying to enter. So sometimes I have a calculation, dynamic calculation. So we can give something like this wherein the user will enter the value and then the calculations are done. Fine. So these are some of the syntaxes what you should actually use. Also, let's discuss this quickly. Multiple statement assignment. So this one, Suppose if you want to assign a value in multiple statements in a single line, okay, I don't recommend this, but still, if you want to know this, I'll just quickly tell you. Suppose if I have one variable like this, or say multiple things, I have to do it in one single line. Say, let me just copy this. I'll just quickly explain what is this. Say, I'm using this num1, say num2 and num3. Then single line I'm declaring. Usually, I recommend you give this, in the next line itself. Don't put in the same line. But otherwise, if you want to put that in the same line, so you have to put this semicolon and then you have to separate it. You can say this, see, here in this case I say num1 and print num1 here. But here I've given, say, a equals input enter a value, then print a in the same line itself. Here, comment multiple statement in single line. Like this. So if I run this, say first display, say here enter a value. So this one, say num1, num2, num3, it is printing, and then it is taking one value, and then it is printing that value. So I don't recommend this, but again, it's depending on the programmers how they actually program, so they can use it. Why I'm telling not to use something like this is it will become very difficult to understand or debug. So if I give the same thing like this, say go here, say num1, say num2, say num3, see, it is very easy to know that what values I have assigned for each variable. Then print. Let it be more number of lines, nothing will happen, but the readability will be nice. See, this and this. This is very nice to read and easy to debug as well, or you can easily understand where I would have done mistake. But here this looks like a paragraph where you have to go and check each and every numbers or say lines or whatever. But here it's very easy to understand. Okay, so you just see how you can practice, but I recommend to use this way. Okay, next chapter we'll see the operators. Let me just open this operators. So here what I've done is I've given a separate Word file also, wherein I'll just close this file. So if you go here, I have this basic operators. This is one explanation, and here in this I've given some programs so that you can copy and paste and work like this. So I just made a programs like this. Anyways, we'll execute this also. First we'll understand what is this operator, and then we'll go and see how we can work on or how we can use these operators. Operators means they are actually used for some calculations or say comparisons or assigning of the values. If you see in this example, say 4 plus 5, this plus is an operator, equals is an operator, plus is something like arithmetic operators, say equals is the assignment operators. So likewise we have different operators here, say arithmetic operators, so it will do the calculation, say plus, minus, division or something. Comparison operators, you will be knowing this, say equals, greater than, less than, something like that. Assignment operators, that means we are trying to assign some value, for that we'll be using this assignment operators. Logical operators, we have this and, or, something like that. This membership and identity, they are actually something new, for most of you, because these are not there in my macros, or say what programming you have done till now. This membership operators or identity operators, it is like it will just check whether it is available in the list. Say for example, I am checking one value in a list, so whether it is a member of it or not. If it is yes, then I'll say yes. It will give me the output as true. Identity means it will check whether the two variables are same, the two values are same or not, or two objects are same or not. So now we'll see how we can use this operators one by one. Say arithmetic operators, as I told you, plus, subtract, multiplication, division. Apart from that, we also have something called as modulus, exponential, that is to the power of, and floor division. Let's work on this. So I'll go to this program. Here I have given one by one, something like this. So what we'll do, we'll take one by one and we'll work on this. Arithmetic operators, we'll go here, just put here arithmetic operators. First we'll see addition. Let me take these two variables, say a equals 11 and b equals 21. I'm just assigning this 11 to this a and 21 to this b, and we'll try to add. So I'll go here and I'll say a plus b. So here I'm saying print a plus b. This is the comment actually. This is just like a statement. This is the calculation. If I do like this, I'll show you with this first and then I'll show you. If I do this, it will give me only the result, that is 11 plus 21. Say run. It will only give me the result. But if I give something like this, say a plus b equals, so this will be like a statement, say like this, say a plus b equals 32. This is just like a statement, that's it. This is for plus, that is addition. Let me copy this and let's do this in my Jupyter. Say insert a cell. So if there is no cell, then you can go and you can insert here. Let me paste it here. Run this. See, it will give me the result a plus b equals 32. This is for addition. Let's go back. Let's copy the same thing, put it here. Next we'll see for subtraction. Let's say minus, and here I'll say minus. Now it will give me this value a minus b. Let's make it as 31. Run this. See, this is giving me 10. So it's a simple one. So quickly just copy and paste here, and now we'll say multiplication. Let's take some simple one, say 5 and 4. So it should be 20 in this case. See, a multiplied b is 20. Next, say division. Go here. Let's say slash. Sorry. Okay, I'll get the division. These are simple operators what we usually see in our Excel or say in macros or any other languages. Let's go and see there are some more operators, that is mod. What you can see here, this one, the percentage, we have the mod, and we have this exponential. Let me go here. Okay, see what this mod will actually do is it will give me the reminder. So if you go and check this, it says divides left hand operand by right hand operand and returns the reminder. So it will just give me the reminder. Let's go and work on this. Let me take the same number. Here I'll say mod of this. Let's run this. See, it will give me the reminder. Reminder in the sense, it is 4 divided by 5. That means it is giving me the remainder. So the remainder will be 1. So it will be divided by 4. And whatever the remainder I'm getting, see if I go here and make it as say 7, then I'll get 3 because the remainder is 3. See, I'm getting this 3. So mod operator will give me the remainder. Next one is the exponential, wherein I have this 2 star. Let's give 2 to the power of 3. Let me run this. See, I'm getting this 8. That means 2 to the power of 3. Say 2 into 2 into 2. It will give me 8. That is the exponential. But we have one operator that is called as floor division. This one. This is actually used to get the whole numbers. Say I have this one number here, one calculation I've done. Say 5 and 4 are divided. So I'm getting the result 1.25. Let me just copy the same thing and I'll put it here. Now I'll put 2/ here. Let me run this. See, I'm getting only the whole number. It is not giving me the decimal part. So whenever you think that I want only the whole number when I'm dividing, not the decimal part, then I can go for this floor division. Let me take some other number, let's say 29, and here I'll say 12. Let me run this. See, it is giving me only the whole number. Let's give the same value here, 29 and 12 for division, 29 and 12. Let me run this. See, here it says 2.4165 or something. Here it's just giving me. So these are arithmetic operators. Let me just comment this. So you can just copy this and paste it in my Jupyter and we can work here also. Right. Next is the comparison operator. This comparison operator actually used, commonly used in conditional statements or say if conditions to compare whether they are true or false. So if you say this, I cannot say just equals, because when I say equals, that is actually assigning a value. If you go here and check these programs, here I'm saying a equals 29. That means this equals whatever is there. This is assignment operator. It's not like I'm trying to check that whether they are equals. So I should give two equals to say that okay, this is equal to this. Not equals, an exclamatory statement, there's the one character, and equals, that is not equals to. Then anyways, this greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, and less than or equal to. Let's go back. We'll write the program. So let's say hash. Here I'll quickly just update this. So subtraction, so that it will be easy for you guys to understand. This is division, multiplication, mod, exponent, or I'll put it as power. Then here I'll say next we'll say comparison operators. So here we have this equals, not equals to, things like that. Let me go to this Word file. Here I have given something like this. So let me just take these values, the variables, and I'll put it here. And next I'll say print A equals B. Now if you say this, I'm just saying that A equals B. So what it will do is, it will say whether it is true or false. If I'm using this in if condition, then I can use like this. If A equals B, like this. So if this is true, then I can get the true statement or false statement. Now we are just trying to compare this, so I will not go to this if statement. So here we're just saying whether it is equals or not. This is for equals. Let me run this. See, it is false because they are not equal. Let me make it equal. I'll say 11 and 11. See, they are equal. Fine. Let me copy this. Say not equals to. Now I'll put it like this. Now in this case, I'll get false. See, one is true, one is false because the values are equal. Now let me just change this to 21. Now this will be true and this also will be true here because this one I've already given this 11 and 11. If you go here, see, it is showing as true. Next is greater than. See, just have to change the operator like this. Greater than. Just copy this and finish all this. Say lesser than. Like this. Then greater than or equals to. Greater than or equal to. Say like this. Don't put like this, equals and then greater. It will throw error. So make it greater than or equals to, then less than or equal to. Now if I run this, it will just give me true or false or something. So if you want, you can mention here this one like this, so that while I'm getting the result, it will mention the operator what I'm using also. This is just a reference, that's all. Otherwise it will give me true or false, true or false, true or false, so that it will become a little confusing for you guys to work on this. I'm just putting this quickly. Greater than or equals to. Less than or equals to. So depending on the comparison here, I'll get the result. So let me run this. See, so equals to here, whatever the values are there, depending on that I'm getting this true or false values. This is comparison. Right. Next one is assignment operator. Now this is very important because this is where I'll be assigning some values to the variables. So what is variable, I'll discuss in the next session. Variable is nothing but, let's assume now, that is one name I'll be giving. In that I'll be saving some values. Just we'll assume like that. So here I have this equals, that means I'm trying to assign some value. So if you go here, I have this program. So here I'll say C equals A plus B. That means this A plus B, whatever is there, that will be assigned to C. Let's take this. Just comment this. So next operator, assignment. Okay. Here it says A equals 11, B equals 21, and C equals 0. Now what I'll do is I'll say C equals A plus B. That means the value what is there here. See, this is also I'm assigning here. So 11 has been assigned to A, 21 has been assigned to B, and 0 is assigned to C, then what I'll do, I'll say A plus B. So whatever value is there, 11 plus 21, that will be assigned to this C. Now if I run this, it will give me the value of C. Let me close this. And again I'll run this. See, the value of C is 32. Let's keep this in mind. So it is 32 now. Once it is running, so what will happen? This will become 32. Next, we can assign like this. Say C plus equals A. Now if I say print, the C plus equals A is nothing but it is something like this. C equals C plus A, like this. So instead of mentioning this C equals C plus A, I can use this. Just make this comment. See, I can use like C plus equals A. Now in this case, C will become 32 here. Now when I'm running this code, so this will become like C equals 32 plus 11. Let's run this. See, it is 43. That means 32 plus 11. So don't get confused. If I say C plus equals A, then it will become like 11 only. Or say C equals C plus A, it will become 11. It's not 11 because already there is a value here in C, which is not cleared. So first it will be 32 and then 11 more is getting added here. The same thing, I can do something like this. Go here. I'll say C equals C minus equals A. This is similar to C minus A. Now again it will come back to 32 only because here again I'm subtracting A here. So or we'll go here and say B. Make it as B here. Now if I run this, see, first it will be 32, then that will become 43, and then 43 minus this 21, then it will come to 22, like this. So that's what here says C minus. Then now you can multiply. Let's go here. C multiplied. Now whatever is there C equals C multiplied by the value whatever I'm selecting here. Let me make it as A in this case. Let me run this. See, now the value is 22 into this 11. So same thing I can do for all the other operators. I'll say division, then I can do it for modulus, then I can do for exponential, and then for floor division as well. So quickly I'll just copy the same thing and put that here. Say slash, then I'll use this for double slash, then exponential. Like this. So I've just put all the operators here so that you can understand while working on this. So I'll get the result accordingly. Let me save this. So this is comparison operators. Next one is logical operators. Logical operator means and, or. This one again will be using mostly in my if conditions or when I'm comparing something, two or more variables. So this one we'll discuss more when we come to this if conditions, but again I'll just quickly explain you with simple examples. I've just used some simple examples here. I mentioned here say A equals true, B equals false, and I'm trying to compare this say A and B. So when I say AND operator, both should be true. Whatever variable I'm using, if both are true, then it will say true. Now let me just quickly copy this and I'll show you. Comment this. Then go here and say logical operators. Then let me put it here. Say A equals true and B equals false. I'm trying to print, that is like comparing A and B. That means one is true and one is false. When it is AND operator, always both the values should be true. Now if I run this, it says false. See, A and B is false. Let me change that B to true. Now if I run this, see, it is true. So when I'm using this AND operator, both the values should be true. Let's take OR operator. OR operator, any one of the value, if it is true, it will give me true. Now in this case I have this true. I'll say OR, and if I run this, see, it gives true. Let me make it false. Now if I run this, it still says true. Now if I make both as false, now if I run this, then it will become false. See, so keep in mind, when I'm using this AND operator, the values which I'm actually comparing, or say value I'm checking, if both the values, or say more than one values or whatever you're comparing, if all of them are true, then only it will give me the output as true. If I'm using OR operator, let it be like any number of variables, say 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever, more than one variables, at least one should be true. If one is true, then this will display as true. If all are false, then it will become false. The next step, we have this NOT operator. It is just reverse of it. Say it is like, if it is true, then it will say false. If it is false, it will say true. So let me just click this, and here I'll just say not. Here this A is false, and it should say true. That means it is just reverse of it. So it will just give me, if it is false, and it will give me true. Let me run this. Suppose if you go and make it as true, then this will become false. Like this. Fine. Next one is the identity operator or membership operator. Identity means it is just trying to identify. Identify in the sense, say here, say A1 equals 11, B1 equals 21. If I'm comparing these two, they are not equal. A2 is 11 and B2 is 11. They two are same. So that is identified. That means they are identical. But if you check this one, this is a separate object and this is a separate object, though they have same values. So this is not true actually. Why? Because they are different objects. Let's check this. See, just copy this and I'll put it in my, just copy this. So these are very easy, so I'm just directly doing it in my scripting mode only. I'm not using this Jupyter. If you want, you can use this Jupyter as well. So yeah, it's the same thing, just copy and paste and you can run this. So instead of running that again, I'm just trying to show you here. If you want, you can copy this code and put it in Jupyter and run this. Okay. So if you see this, A1 and B1, it says 11 and 21, they are not identical. But here A2 and B2, they are identical. But A3 and B3, if you see, they are actually having the same values but different objects. That is, they are different list, but the values are same. Now if you go, and I'll just copy and paste this again instead of typing it, just explain this. I'll just paste it here. See, A1 is not B1. Is means they are identical. That means I'm just checking whether they are identical or not. Is not means they are not identical. So if you go and check this, say A1 is not B1. That means the two are not identical. That means they should become true. They're identical actually, but here it's sorry, they are not identical. It says A1 is not B1. That means they're not identical. If they were identical, say if I say 21, that means they are identical. So this will become false. Let me go here. I'll make it as 11. And then let me run this. And let's get the result. See, A1 is not B1. If you see this, it says true. That means they are not identical. A2 is B2. That means they are identical. Yes. Now I told you these two are, though having same values, they are not identical objects. That will come to know when you come to this list. I'll explain you how they are actually not same. Say A3 and B3, they are saying say is, here it says false. So this is identifying, that is identity operators, just to see whether they are same or not. Okay, let's comment this. Next one is the membership. Membership means just checking whether the value what I'm trying to search is there in this list or not. If you see this, I'm having this A equals iTech Analytic Solutions. I'm trying to search character A. If you go and see, I'm trying to search character A in this variable. In means whether it is there. Not in means whether it is not there. Like what we have here, say is and is not. Here it's saying in or not in. When I say A in this variable, that means it is going searching this. If it is there, yes, it says true. I'm using this print analytic, not in A. Analytic is there. That means not in A means it is not there. So this will become false. I'm trying to search Excel in this list. Excel is there. Print Power BI. So Power BI is not there in this list. That means this will become false. So print 50.12. So it is there here. In C, that means in this list. So suppose if I'm trying to search for a variable, also value in one variable here. In means it is there, not in means it is not there. So I'm just trying to check the values. Let me just copy this and then I'll put it here. Let's mention this as membership operators. I've taken three variables here, A, B and C. So one is text, other one is list, another one is list of numbers. This is list of text. Now when I go here, I'll say print A in. So A is a character and this small a is a variable. Now if I run this, see, it is true. That means this a is available. Next, I'm trying to search this analytic in this text. So I'll go here, say print analytic not in A. Now if I go here, run this, see, it is false. Why? Because it is available. Analytic is there. If I would have mentioned this in analytic in A, that means it is there. But I mentioned here as not in. Let me go here and say analytics. Now let me run this. See, still says false. Why? Because here analytic character is there. Let me remove this. Yes. Let me short this, say like this. Now let me search. See, that character, that word is not there. So in and not in means it is just checking whether it's a member of that particular text, I mean the list or text or whatever the values are not. Next one, you go and see this in a list. What we saw now is for just a text. Now I have this one list where I have different courses, Excel, VBA, SQL and Tableau. I'm trying to search whether Excel is there in this variable, that is B. Let me run this. If it is there, it will give me true. See, it is there. Let's go here and check one more. Say I'm taking another course here and trying to check Power BI in variable B. When I try to check this, Power BI is not there in this list. So then it should be false. Let's go here. See, it says false. Numbers. Number in a list. See, I'm not giving any single quote or double quotes here. Say 50.12, we can see here. Let me run this. So here the values are there. See, oops. Which one I took? Okay, it is because of the round off. Let me just remove this. Let me just make this as 50.12. See, now it's gone. So likewise, I can use these operators for, in these variables for comparing or doing some calculations or something.